All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI, Wakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who I learn is truth from. Peace and salutations to those of you like shalom. And I want us to do a lesson going into being content, which the people of this world they're not content. The majority of the people here in America known as Babylon the Great, they have a covetous spirit on them. They always want what someone else has, and including their woman. For the men, okay, the woman, and the woman is the same thing. Everyone wants what everyone has. All right, and that's the spirit that Esau Edom pushes, man. All right, for you to get the next new new vehicle, the next new house, the next new this, the next bigger this, the next new relationship, man. All right, this is why adultery is at an all time high. But the scriptures go against that. The scriptures tell us what? To be content. Be content with what we got. You don't always gotta, hey, like the old folks used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, your vehicle's running, your house is or wherever you stay at is cool. All right, and is working. Hey, don't seek to upgrade it, man. All right, keep what you got. All right, stack your little chips and do what you got to do here in this captivity. Okay.
How the heck are people able to afford the cars like this these days? With rising prices, high insurance rates, it's no wonder a lot of people are repossessed on. They're losing their cars because of the sheer cost, the long loan terms. It's absolutely disheartening. And as a person who loves cars and now certainly sailing into retirement, I'd love to have a new car. But I find every time I shop, it's a little disheartening. I'd love to drive a new car, and you know what? I've been shopping lately, as a lot of you probably out there realize. Some people say that cars, trucks, SUVs are one of the biggest wealth killers. And yes, I've always had a fun little car to drive around in. But comes a time you just need a car day to day to get around, and quite often it's disheartening when you see the prices of these. Welcome back to the hustle, everybody, and welcome back to the grind. And today's bevy is on PK. Thanks again so much, PK. Thanks for reaching out, and a super thanks again for a great beverage. Today it's a little warmer, but they're actually calling for a little bit of rain. As you can see, it's kind of overcast, it's kind of dark and cloudy, and there's been a few drizzles already. They're talking freezing. Totally understand that, but my parents paid $22,000 or thereabouts when they bought their house back in 1974. It's a house. It was 1,100 square feet. It housed three and four of us. My parents, me and my brother, and you know what? We lived there for a good part of our lives, and up until about last year, my parents owned the house outright. But you wonder, how can a car possibly cost as much as a house? Well, see, that's what's going on these days. But have you also heard, repossessions are rising. People quite often that are struggling with payments, making ends meet. You're hearing today what's going on with.
All right. So people get go into all sorts of debt. Just because they want to look a certain way. All right. And the scriptures tell us to be as pilgrims. Live a simple life. All right. Don't be adding unnecessary bills into yourself, especially in these last days. Which, hey, the system is on its way out. All right. The system is it's on its way out. Let's grab this word content in a state of peaceful happiness, satisfied, a state of satisfaction. All right, so we should be satisfied with what YAHAWAH has given us. Ultimately, be satisfied with YAHAWAH, man. Okay, because that's all we need. The, the world, all right. The people of the world, they'll tell you need something new. Get rid of that old vehicle. Hey, man, if it's getting you around, it's getting you back and forth to work, to the plantation. It's getting you around to where you need to go. Hey, man, continue to drive it. All right, continue to hold on to what you got. Okay, First Timothy chapter 6, and we'll start at verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. All right, that's great gain to just be seeking, to do what's right. To do what YAHAWAH is looking for us to do to the best of our ability. All right, the world, this is why those who call themselves, you got a lot of people who call themselves Israelites, and they're not content. They're not content with just the truth. They want ultimately they want the world, man. They want the riches, the tainted riches of this world. Verse 7: For we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain we can carry nothing out of it. All right, once the YAHAWAH punches your clock, then what? You know, you can't take $80,000 SUV with you. You can't take that $1.2 million home with you. I mean, you can't take those things with you, man. It's gonna be here for somebody else to enjoy, and having food and raiment. Let us be there with content. If you got food and a place to lay your head, you doing better than the average person, man. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of people out here hurting, man. It's a lot of homeless people. Hey, the Lord can have you. The Lord can have you without shelter. You know, that's the problem with Jake, man. Jake has been pampered, so much here in America that they don't really, Jake don't really know loss like that, man. Even though we've been living the curses, we've been in the hoods, the ghettos, the barrios, but that's not really, that ain't really suffering, man. All right, you go to a lot of these different countries, man, and you'll see some hellish, true hellish like conditions. Hebrews 12:5, and it reads, "Let your conversation be without covetousness." All right, that's all the people, of the world, man. They that's all they talk about. What somebody else got, what they can get. Knew this, knew that. How much this is? It's just, man, it's vexing, man. So just listen to these people talk and be content with such things as you have. Be content with what you got. All right, you don't need the 2026 GMC Denali, man. You don't need the 2026 BMW. All right, roll around in that, 2020, 10, 2013, whatever you got, man. Keep rolling, keep the oil change. Keep up on the maintenance. Hey, keep rolling. Okay, I'm not buying nothing, man. All right, I'm not spending 80 G's on a worthless piece of metal. For he have said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. All right, the Lord is gonna always be with us as long as we continue to remain faithful. Philippians 4:11, and it reads, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content." All right, no matter what the state you in, be content with what YAHAWAH is giving you. Okay, like I said, hey man, the Lord can have you out here, homeless, no shelter, no food. All right, what's dude name from when he played Castaway? All right, have you talking to a ball, man? Verse 12: I know both how to be abased, and I know how to be abound everywhere in all things. I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. All right, so you gotta learn how to adapt, because we're getting ready to embark on some very dangerous situations where a lot of us may become homeless, man. But are you gonna give up the faith? Because you ain't got what other people got. You ain't got the temporary riches of this world. All right, these people are getting ready to lose it all. I can do all things through Yahawashi Mashiach, which strengthen me. We can do whatever through Yahawashi Mashiach, man. You gotta really believe that. Ecclesiastes 5:12, and it reads, The sleep of a laboring man is sweet. All right. When you labor, you work your 12, 13 hours, you want to get some rest, whether he eat a little or much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep, all right? Because you constantly thinking about the next check, the next bag. You know, what can I get in that? What next new can I get? You know, hey, when you really think about it, that's a horrible life to constantly be worrying about riches, man. Constantly be worrying about getting this and getting that instead of just being content. This is why a lot of Jake athletes and Jake entertainers, this is why they go broke because they constantly, they're not content. They want more and more, and they don't know how to budget their money. So they keep spending, they keep, buying this. They want this new, this next new mansion, when they could have just bought a regular house, okay, in a decent neighborhood, and got them a decent vehicle and put the rest of the money in the bank. All right. But with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. Till next time, shalom.